Oh boy, we got probably the biggest wishing video I think I've made. So I have Mavuika and Citlali we've got to acquire today. Technically, I already got C0 Citlali in my live stream because I had a guarantee, but I want to get C1 Citlali and Mavuika. So the concept for today's video, I decided on because they're doing this 2 new 5-star thing. And by the way, I'm going to talk about this later because I think this is kind of maybe a bad thing for most players. Like anyone that isn't, doing what we're doing here today, where we're just LOL, let's spend money. I feel like, whatever, we'll talk about that more later. I'm also going to talk about the weapon banner this time around a little bit more than I think I normally will, because the plan is, right, so I have 48,480 primo gems, which that's like a big number, right? And by the way, I would like to save my saved 18,000 primo gems for Shenhe later in this patch. Specifically, it is 303 wishes. And the reason I set that amount this time is because even though that's a lot of wishes and it's a lot of money, that's only enough to guarantee 1 copy of each character. But I want to see if we can be a bit greedy, because I want to get 1 copy of each character, and I would like to get both weapons, and that makes the weapon banner weird. Generally speaking, even when I get lucky with Genshin, I don't think it was worth it necessarily to spend the money that I spend. Also worth mentioning that half of my topups were given to me from Paimon's bargains, and I'll talk about them more later in the video. If I weren't a content creator, I would probably be pulling personally just for Citlali, but I actually have ideas and fun things I want to, like I can make content on these characters, right? So don't do as I do. I'm doing things for the silly content purposes because they're entertaining, okay? Okay, real question though, who do we start with? Citlali's voice line when I got her C0 said good fortune. So clearly, we're going to go for Mavuika first, and then go for my C1 Citlali, and then we'll move on from there. Enough yapping, let's just get into it. I am at it. Basically no pity, and yep. This is enough wishes that we should see. I don't need to, well, okay, I don't have like copies of Kachina, but actually, as far as I'll click through the 4 stars for a little bit here. Sorry, you'll have to hold with me. I want to yap about the 4 stars in this banner. I think Bennett, hello, is a good inclusion for this banner, and I think Citlali, or sorry, the very budget Citlali in the form of Diona, is also a good inclusion in the banner. Kachina, in my opinion, would be a good inclusion to the banner if, oh, nice, that's very helpful. Please win a 50-50. See, this is what we want to see. We want 50-50 wins, because that means we could actually have a chance of getting the things I am greedy for if we win 50-50s. Hello? Well, that fills up the whole screen.
Across time, allow me, Mavuika, to light your way forward.
Thanks. The flute. Well, that's a good start. We got C0 Mavuika. That we basically didn't use many of my resources. That is what we want to see. Like, getting lucky with early 5 stars, especially when you win the 50-50, is so much more important than I think anything else to happen. Like if you save enough primo gems to guarantee the characters you want and then get lucky and get them, and then you hold those primo gems to a future banner, that's such a powerful thing that can let you build up surpluses of resources over time. I think a lot of people, when they get lucky though, they end up being like, oh, I have a ton of primo gems left, I'm going to go for constellations or weapons. When you get lucky, I highly recommend saving primo gems, right? C0 Mavuika is a very, very functional character without her signature weapon. Citlali is kind of really desirable with her though, so anyways, let's try to get C1 Citlali. The reason, oh, I didn't even finish talking about the 4 stars. The reason I think Kachina is like a smart inclusion in the banner on a baseline is like Mavuika does need Natlan characters. She needs units that consume Night Soul to give her burst back. She can be functional without Natlan characters, but like they're it's nowhere near her full potential, right? So like these banners do make sense as far as like a budget Mavuika team, kind of. The problem is like Kachina's a free character and her constellations do basically nothing. So it's kind of just like, well, what's the point of Kachina on the banner when her constellations essentially do little to nothing? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, Rain Slasher, how wonderful. Alright. Now we're at like 30 about. And we can start skipping now. Hello, Kachina. If I get C6 Kachina, I'll be down with that. I think we need like 3 more. C6 Kachina does increase her personal damage. Not crazily so. But you know, it's something. Hey, Widzith. But yeah, so I should talk about why I want C1 Citlali. C1 Citlali is very interesting hello Kachina, in that it basically turns her into a pseudo Shenhe, like not just for cryo buffing though. She gives a flat damage buff to any unit in the game that is on field. Based on Citlali's EM, you get an EM buff, or sorry, a flat damage buff based on her EM. I'm fine. My brain is functioning. It's fine. This is what Gambit Brain Rot does to you. I have not kept that track of our wishes. I am just paying attention. I do not want to use any more than the wishes that I got top-up wise in this video. Hello, Diana. What in the... Hi, Diona. Alright, anyways. That never happens when you want, like, when you actually want a specific 4-star, right? So anyways, I hope we win this 50-50. This would be, hello. So, you know what? Citlali was correct. Clearly I should have included that in the video. Citlali wished me good fortune, and good fortune I indeed have had. But yeah, you should always plan around the worst case scenario, right? Save your wishes. Assume that it might cost you $600 to get a character. Or not $600 to get 2 characters, right? It could have costed $600. I got lucky, and it only costed about 15,000 Primo Gems or so. It cost me 100 wishes. Like, that's very lucky. What's funny is I technically wouldn't have had to spend any money to get both C1 Citlali and C0 Mavuika in this circumstance. Because I have extra Primo Gems, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to Weapon Banner. But yeah, to finish my yap about C1 Citlali, she's a super interesting buffer with C1, particularly for the circumstance of I like doing weird things like on-field DPSing characters like Kachina. Kachina's a terrible DPS unit, but there's not many ways to buff Kachina. So Citlali C1 giving a universal buff means, like, I think Citlali C1 would be amazing for DPSing Kachina. So yeah, anyways, check out my live streams or just subscribe or whatever if you want to see videos like that. I got shenanigans planned for DPS Citlali, weirdness with Mavuika. Like, if you don't like her motorcycle, maybe stay tuned. Anyways, enough shameless plugging. I want Citlali's weapon. This is a good weapon, obviously, for Citlali, but I also want this, funnily enough, for Kokomi and Nilou Bloom teams, because I think with Kokomi, Baiju, Nilou, and my C2 Nahida, I can get 100k Bloom damage consistently, if I did my math correctly. I also kind of like the idea of having Mavuika's weapon, because it's a nice universal weapon for her, and then I wouldn't have to swap my, like, Serpent Spine around to 500 different Claymore units all the time. Like, let's be real, that's one of the main upsides of getting signature weapons sometimes, is not having to swap weapons around. But anyways, I have, I think, 9 pity to start here. The weapon banner is weird if you want both weapons, though. So, like, the circumstances here is, if I get a, hey, Fab is great. If I get a standard banner weapon, and I want both weapons, it's technically better to cancel my fate point. And it's really weird. The reason for that is if you cancel your fate point, you can avoid getting a standard banner weapon again when you use the fate point for your guaranteed weapon. It's extremely goofy. The point is, I don't know. I don't even know though. Like, if I win the 50, 25, 75, or 37.5, why is weapon banner so convoluted? I hate weapon banner, honestly. If I didn't like Citlali this much, and didn't have other weird random utility for a really fat EM stat stick weapon, I probably wouldn't be wishing on this banner. But it's also the concept of this video, right? Can I get everything new in with the monies? Looks like we're going to pity. But yeah, so the ideal circumstance with the 5-star here is going to be, I think this was at pity, is going to be getting Mavuika's weapon and then getting Citlali's weapon. And because then I don't have to do... Alright, well, there we go. Hello. But, like, if we lost the... So if I wanted both weapons, and that was a standard banner weapon, so that's losing the 25-75, right? Then, if I want this weapon and Citlali's weapon still, the strategy would have been to cancel the fate point, to change the path, and then you have a guaranteed one of these 2 weapons, and then you'll get the other one. Whereas if you don't do that canceling, you might actually risk getting another standard weapon. So it's like some min-maxy optimization as far as wishing goes, but it's just a weird situation of, like, if you want both weapons, the weapon banner is annoying, to say the least. Now I had the ideal circumstance of not having to think about that, Because if I got Citlali's weapon there, I don't actually know that I would have wanted to do that, because I don't know if I wanted Mavuika's weapon that badly. Like, Mavuika's weapon is like a cool thing to get, because it's an interesting generic stat stick weapon to have with its super high base attack and yada yada yap yap. But Citlali's weapon was the actual one I wanted. But I'm happy with this circumstance of losing to Mavuika's weapon and getting Citlali's weapon. I would be happier if it came early, but you know, it's fine. Please? Give me? No. Okay, well. This was basically not insane luck on the weapon banner, but nearly, that might have been slightly better. So you know what? Pretty good luck on the weapon banner, all things considered. We don't really need to click. I mean, maybe this is a double 5-star. It's been a long time since I got a double 5-star. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be the happiest to see a double 5-star weapon banner. I don't need 2 5-stars here. But, hello, Citlali thing. I don't know what this is, a doll? Hey, we got it. I'm at 0 pity now. I have Primo Gems left. I like Citlali more than Mavuika as like her character kit. The only thing is, I don't think I really need C2 Citlali to enjoy this character, like, at all. The only temptation I have is that I like her enough that I wouldn't mind over time going for more. I think what I'll try to do is get C1 Mavuika. And again, I wish to encourage, like, if I wasn't a content creator, I would be saving these Primo Gems right now. I want, like, save your Primo Gems, please. But C1 Mavuika, the main thing I want this for is it lifts her restriction of being tied to Natlan units. This makes her so she always gets her burst back no matter what when she's not being paired with Natlan units. Also extends her Pyro application for her off-field utility. I guess a simple way to put it is that C1 Mavuika basically makes her replace this lady in essentially every team. That's why I want it. Like, I very much suspect my use of Mavuika long-term is going to be very much not on-field and more off-field, with her, like, ranged ability of Pyro application, and I think I just want C1 for that. If I hadn't gotten lucky with things, would I care that much about not getting Mavuika C1? No, I would have been fine, and we might not get Mavuika C1 here. We'll see, though. I feel like I've gotten too lucky this video, so anyway, but our Primo Gem resources are dwindling here. Like I said, I want to save for Shenhe, so we'll see what happens. Yep, that's a Diona. Hello. We do have some Star Glitter refund. I don't usually mention Star Glitter refund. I do think it's very important to potentially keep some Star Glitter. Do we not? How do we? Wow, okay. Oh, no, that was C6 Kachina. Okay. Like, the Star Glitter the Star Glitter currency for standard banner constellations like Kaya, for example, is, I think, very valuable. But at the same time, I can absolutely see why you just might want to, like, progress towards your next 5-star. Like, it's what I did early on. You know, you do you. Just think it through. Don't just I would just not immediately gamba brain rot, right? Your Star Glitter wishes away is what I would recommend. Are we gonna have enough to get to pity without going into my? Oh, yep, nice. Okay, I don't know if that was pity, but it was very close. If it was not, let's see if we win another 50-50 for C1 Mavuika. I've been so lucky, like weirdly lucky with all of my Natlan summons, quite frankly, and not anymore. So, anyways, I guess I deserve some bad luck. That's fine. We got 3-4 stars in that poll too. Do I still want C1 Mavuika? That's a good question. The guarantees are really valuable to carry over. I wish to emphasize this. I think I'm going to continue wishing. I'd have to go into my own savings, or I can use the Star Glitter, I guess. I guess I'll use the Star Glitter. Like, it will, I think, further my enjoyment of this character. So, I don't know. It feels kind of bad, though, to still do this, because, like, all right, we're going to save the rest of my premiums, because we're basically at what my savings are for Shenhe. Do that. Like, anyways, what am I trying to articulate here? It feels like the reason I want C1 Mavuika is because MiHoYo created a problem in her kit, and they have sold me a solution in her C1, and that feels bad. I don't want her C2, by the way. Yes, it's an overpowered Archon C2. It will do nonsense damage. I just don't. I have no need for it. All right, well, we're at like 40 pity. Nope. Okay. Well, I guess the answer to this video then is that $600 did not get me everything I wanted, because I wanted C1 Citlali, which I had a guarantee that I started, so, you know, basically I was starting ahead of the ball. I got lucky getting early Mavuika. I got lucky winning my 50-50. The ideal circumstance happened here. I got both weapons. Did not win the 50-50 here, right? And this is a circumstance that happens, right? Where you lose one 50-50, you have to go to pity twice, and suddenly that destroys your savings, right? Just because of the fact that you decided you wanted one C1, and now you have no savings that you could have used for another character, right? Like, deciding to go for constellations is deciding potentially not to get a future character. I think I'm going to continue, because I'll be able to get Shenhe anyways. Well, we'll see. I don't think... With the wishes I can get this patch right. I don't think doing this is that problematic. I think I will be able to get my guaranteed Shenhe. Can I please get the 5-star though? Like early here would really feel nice because it feels so much worse having spent as much money as I did. There we go. Sick. Feels so much worse to go to pity. That was probably pity. It was, if it was not, it was basically pity. Hello, Kachina. And hi. There's C1. Let's go. Had to spend a couple extra wishes to get there, but it's fine. Would have preferred the 50-50 win. I've got 88 wishes left for Shenhe. I should be good. I've gotten everything I wanted. Not quite with the money that was spent. You know, take it for what you will. Sometimes you do get lucky. And you get some early 5 stars. This was not crazy luck, but I'd say relatively expected for how many wishes I spent. That you would expect to see some earlies when you're spending 300 wishes, right? It's really unfortunate that I cannot lose my 50-50s to Dia because she is my Pyro Archon, but oh well. Oh, that's C4 Gene. Oh, okay, you know what? I will actually take C4 Gene. C4 Gene is a very interesting, like, it's a weird constellation because enemies have to be within Gene's burst to be able to get the Animo Red Shred. Turning Gene into a weird Animo buffer that might be awkward to use is a fun use case. I will take more options for buff and Animo units. Alright, now I want to yap a little bit about my concerns for the future of Genshin if they continue doing this kind of structure. But before that, let's talk about Paimon's bargains. In case you weren't aware, there's different pricing for top-ups in different regions of the world. So what Paimon's Bargains does is they offer the ability to give you a top-up with cheaper currency pricing. They use Malaysian ringgits. How much they will save you will depend on exactly what, you know, the currency conversion rate is for you. For me, a $100 top-up pack, you know, the 6480 pack. Paimon's Bargains paid for 3 of those for this video, and I paid for the other 3, but it cost me about $225 through them to get those 3 top-ups that I paid for. Right, so I saved like $75 by buying them through Paimon's Bargains. There is the pretty meaningful downside, in my opinion, of it can take them time to process orders, especially when there are new banners that are really popular characters, like, you know, maybe Mavuika or Citlali, where people might be considering placing orders, and therefore it can take them a few days to get your order fulfilled, which means they're pretty bad for instant dopamine. I think it's important that you make an informed decision when it comes to spending money in these games. But yeah, genuinely, like, Paimon's Bargain saves me a lot of money, and they're part of the reason I can make some of the videos I make for you guys. There are also other gacha games other than Genshin that they can fulfill as well. You can get a receipt if you need, and also, one last thing to mention, they fulfill their orders through Kodoshop, by the way, which is an official top-up service. They have cheaper pricing available due to living in another country where they have different payment processors that also give their own discounts to them. That's why they're able to offer these prices. But yeah, the link will be below in the description or a pinned comment if you're interested in checking them out. So when we originally kind of heard that they were doing Citlali and Mavuika together, I thought it might have been a beneficial thing to the game. Because if you didn't see Zenless Zone Zero, however's other game, they did the same thing, but they ran the banners for the whole patch. Like, it was 40-day banners instead of, you know, 21-day banners. I think if these were 42-day banners, this would have been a positive change to the game, right? Like, releasing 2 new 5-stars at the same time, giving free-to-play players longer to, you know, save up Primo Gems. We have the Lantern Rite wishes coming in the second half of the patch that would have allowed you more flexibility to get Mavuika or Citlali, or both of them. But instead, they chose to release 2 new 5-stars, one who is extremely synergistic for the Pyro Archon, a long-awaited character for many people. You only have 21 days for this. The most compelling teammates for Mavuika are Citlali and Xilonen. And I feel like the only way you get Xilonen, Mavuika, and Citlali is if you skipped every single one of the other on-fielders. You skipped Oron and Chaska, you skipped Mulanni, you skipped Kanich, and you're probably planning to skip future units if you're free to play. Like you would have had to only pull maybe 1 character in the last, like, 6 months to be able to get both of these characters as a free-to-play. I have played in a free-to-play account. I do know what the free-to-play experience is like. And when they do things like this, it's kind of rough, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people are going to pull for Mavuika, and they're going to end up feeling like they want to pull Citlali, only after the fact, of course. Who would have planned that they were going to do something they've never done before, where they released 2 new 5-stars at the exact same time with the same banner duration, right? Like, I feel like this is just like bad for most players. Like, who does this benefit? You know, people spending money or people who just wanted Citlali over Mavuika, right? Which that was me, to be clear. I mentioned in the beginning of this video, like I would have pulled for Citlali and not Mavuika if I was not a content creator, I think. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that, because like I don't know how to feel about it, right? Like, it's cool that you have more choice, I guess. I just wish that Mihoyo's going to do something different for like their gacha structures, such as, you know, releasing 2 brand new limited 5-star units that are both compelling at the same time. Can you change things that are like a little bit beneficial to the player base and not just beneficial to your bottom line? That's my overall feeling on it, right? But let me know if you agree. Maybe I'm being over dramatic and this is not that much of an issue, and this just further reinforces, hey, you should save up 50,000 Primo Gems before you consider wishing for a character, right? I just don't think that many people do that. Subscribe if you want to see me actually, you know, play this video game rather than just doing gambling things. I usually make my money back on these wishing videos, but, you know, this one was the most expensive one I've made so far, so we'll see how rough it is. I don't know. Anyways, bye. Videos coming soon to actually have fun with Citlali and Mavuika.